Pitch black. Pitch black. Pitch black. This cave is pitch black. Ogre and ogre and ogre and ogre and ogre. Like a dragon born half human with his shoes. He stumbles wildly through the dark, he continues. Blunder and blunder and blunder and blunder and blunder. The smell of goblin's blood really is on you. And when you fight this way, we really are with you. Cave with foes of various size. Greg insists the smallest ones are his thing. Quinch cannot rely on eyes. Tripping in the darkness becomes his thing.
Get my genders right, get my pronouns right.
Gender tripping, cowardice, and I sing. That is my thing in Dice and Desire.
I do apologise to anybody out there who thinks I don't care about genders. I do. It's my
thing.
So the final creature is felled. It dies. A big thud as the creature smacks against the floor. And there's just suddenly a bit of silence, and then you just start hearing the return of, finally, after all the battle going on, you finally hear all the dripping of this cave and just water, droplets coming from the ceiling and hitting various parts around the cave. What would you find Falcon like to do at this point?
I'd like to walk up to Quinch and just hand him her phrasing on this is unfortunate. My hooded lantern.
Again, you had the option. You could have just said lantern. You didn't need to embellish on it.
I could have.
We're antagonising him, and it's
So Quinch, can you please add a lantern to your thing? Do you have any oil to go with that as well, or is he just going to have to?
He can find his own. He can have enough to fill it. I think. It takes 1 pint of oil. I don't know how much oil I actually have.
All right, Quinch, don't drink it.
Or do.
Quinch sticks a finger in it to check its validity.
Nice. But so basically it'll illuminate a 30-foot radius. And then
small.
So you can see in the dark now. I don't really need it having dark vision.
So from a practical point there, MJ, when you go into a cave, or indeed at this point, you can light it. It lasts for, I think, something like 8 hours or something like that, or an hour. Certainly enough, I would imagine, for you to investigate this cave. For combat purposes, I'll allow you to drop it at the beginning of combat so that you can at least light up your own way.
Cool, thank you. Small one, this gift is a gift that I shall not forget lightly, and that was a pun intended.
I take it back and just leave the cave.
Right, so Greg's got a lantern, right? So what's Greg's sort of range of? Oh yeah, what's your sort of range of vision? It's like 30 feet, isn't it?
20.
Okay, so I could probably see further than he could.
You can see 60. Is that right?
Yeah. So I'm going to sort of head out into this open area in the north of the cave, and I'm just going to peer, I guess, 60 foot down this northern tunnel just to see if I can see anything in that direction.
Okay. So as you look up into the tunnel in the north, what you see is essentially
wow.
Yeah,
say
don't
what
say
that
anything.
looks like.
No, shut up.
I was cracking the up.
Thank you.
I relay that information back to the guys.
There is there's an you see what is essentially a fissure in the ground, which is several feet across, leading to another pathway across from it.
So I sort of head back over towards Greg I explain the large fissure. Do I see any, as I head back over, is there anything special about this water?
Can you roll me an investigation check, please?
No bonuses on that. 18. What do I see?
As far as you can see, it's just water. You sort of dip a hand into it. It's cool. It's actually quite cold, given that it's in the middle of a cave. Do you wish to drink the water?
I'll have a sip.
You have a sip. Can I have a Constitution check, please?
Oh. Always drink cave water.
Yeah.
I really hope it's just the toilet of the
Ha!
goblins.
Natural 20, so 22.
You get your big half-orc mitt.
I dipped the pinky.
Okay. You dip a pinky. You dip a big greenie into the water. I'm not sure that's going to be enough to tell you anything. And you take a slurp on that, and it tastes like water. It doesn't taste like very particularly nice water. It tastes like it's polluted. But you don't take any damage. But you make a mental note that this is not really, whilst it might hydrate you, it's not going to taste very nice.
Krill turns to the group and says, I think this is where they bathed.
Nice.
Dweezil has noticed that in between these kind of raised platforms where the goblins were standing, there are what appear to be small openings. He just wants to take a closer look. Are they traversable, or are they just literally cracks in the walls of the cave?
So as you approach this passageway on the the southeast of the wall, the east of the wall, you have a look in, and you see that it opens into a pathway, which bends around to the left, and you can see about sort of 10-15 feet into it, but you can't really see much beyond that before it starts turning.
Quinch is getting curious and started walking down this tunnel here. There's a tunnel in between both of those two previously
Feels like we're
discussed
splitting up.
passages. And Quinch has got a bit curious, and he started walking into the...
As Quinch walks into... Just give me 1 second.
Just having a wander, guys. Be back in a second.
Might not be.
We can only hope.
It'll be an empty room or something, don't worry.
Hang on. You've got your torch on, right?
Yeah, lantern.
How far can you see?
30 feet, is that?
Yeah, with his lantern. Yeah,
I think it was 30 feet bright, and then an additional something. It should say in the item in Beyond.
Okay. So there we go. So that's fine. So as Quinch walks into the room, he sees
nothing. It's empty. Oh, it's not. I've never seen more characters.
You walk in and you see in the centre of this room.
Fucking hell!
Describe it.
Let's hope they're friendly.
Have you seen the film Eyes Wide Shut?
No.
No. There's a famous orgy scene in there. As you walk in, you notice that there is a huge hole in the middle of this room, which is about 10 foot wide, bit more than that, and considerably deeper.
Drop a tooth down it.
Huddled, up. You also notice that there's a little walkway around this hole, but otherwise this room is filled with sort of 2 or 3 raised levels. And huddled on these raised levels, you see a large number of humans, tieflings, dwarves, various assortment, all of which look scared, all of which look like they've been through a rough time, and they've seen this big hulking dragonborn walk into the room, and they all sort of shirk away and sort of just like cower into as far as possible against the wall as they possibly can. and that they're scared of what fate is about to what fate they're about to see.
Okay, Quinch proudly holds up his lantern and says, "Friends, fear not, worry not. My name is Quinch, the bringer of freedom, and I have come to save you all. Guys, I've got a situation that I sort of feel really fucking out of my depth. Please come help. Please." So yes, like I say, I'm here to save you. I know exactly why you're here, and you must trust me, and we will go probably.
Oh, there's Boris. Good old Boris is back.
We'll go, but not go, but go together and remain vigilant.
As you shout that to the people behind you, as well as the people in the room, can you, Quinch, and you alone, please roll me for initiative, please.
Ah, perfect.
Oh, that's pretty disappointing. Ooh, that's not the number you want to say. 3.
3. Okay. Just as you shout, you suddenly hear this sort of like this weird sort of flapping noise, which I'm doing into the mic.
Fapping almost, isn't it? Like a...
Almost. And then after a few seconds, suddenly the layer, not the raised layer, but the floor that you are on is suddenly filled with hundreds, if not thousands, of bats.
Bats.
And they are agitated, and they are just whipping around the room, and they are flying just round and around and around, and basically at this point you cannot see any further than where you are. All you can see now is just a wall of bats.
Was he about to become Batman? It sounds a lot like the Batman origin.
You fall down the hole. Your father comes and saves you. But yeah, so now these bats are just whipping around. And yeah, what would you like to do?
Is it my initiative? I rolled initiative. Does that mean I'm in combat?
What would you like to do?
I'd like to enter a rage.
Okie dokie.
Don't blame you,
And
to be honest.
I shall activate. My storm aura automatically activates when I start a rage. So to be clear, this is a 10-foot aura effect.
Want to do that with all those people in there? I mean, I don't want to.
It's only 10
don't
feet.
want to guide you.
It's only 10 feet, so it's only going to get 2 of them.
Collateral damage.
Cool.
No, hang on, no, and it's only dealing 2 fire damage. I don't think 2 fire damage is going to kill a human, whereas I think it may kill a bat.
Yeah, but I mean, are you okay with just injuring them? Like,
yeah, they look scared as fuck. A little singe ain't going to hurt too much.
Right? No, listen. He's done it. He's. There's a lot going on here. Right. So you've raged.
Mate, I'm fuming.
And these bats are still whipping around. Okay. So is it a straight 2 damage? Yeah.
2 damage, 2 fire damage.
And let's see how far. So 10. So that actually gets that one. You hit one of the humans, fortunately. So this human up here suddenly feels, not knowing what's happening. I mean, all that's happened to them is they've seen like this giant dragonborn walk into a room, proclaim to be their saviour. Suddenly a load of bats have appeared, and then you've injured them. This chain of events is possibly not what they were hoping when somebody came to save them, but that's the situation that they've got. So that's the end of your turn. The bats continue to just be agitated and whip around the room. Back to you.
Interesting. Am I allowed to talk to these people whilst in combat?
You can, but realistically, when you've got hundreds, if not thousands of bats just whipping around a room, I suspect they probably won't be able to hear you.
Okay, can I move at all?
You can move, of course you can move.
Okay. Can the guys hear me?
Yeah, they heard your original cry when you said that you had a situation that you didn't think you could handle, and now you're proving that you were correct.
Guys, and is my movement impeded at all?
Your move is not impeded at all. No, not in theory.
Guys, need like some anti-bat maneuvers, please. Quinch runs out of the room to here. With I assume the bat's still surrounding him. So he's ran about 25 feet out of the room.
So they're not surrounding you. They are just whipping around that room.
Oh, okay. I've run out of the room. I mean, I'm not scared of bats, but there was a lot of them. There's a load of bats in there. Like, I counted probably like 5. I don't know, hundreds of bats. They've got like massive wings. They look bloodthirsty. They're sort of flapping. They're really agitated. There's some people in there too. It's fucked up.
No one rushed to help him.
I mean, Greg's going to make his way over, and as he's kind of making his way over, you'll notice that he does have some blood trickling out of his nostrils, just to pre-warn you on his conditions.
Oh, nice. That's Mike saying, "Can someone please help me and heal me at some point?"
Yeah, that's basically what I'm getting at. What do you mean, lots of people? Are you counting 2 as a lot, or is it higher than that? I mean, I know you can't count, but
well,
show me on your fingers.
There was this many. Quinch keeps flashing his all digits repeatedly, and he's done it about 10 or 15 times. He's flashed sort of 150, like at least 20, I'd expect.
At least 20. In a cave where there's orcs and goblins and ogres and all
bats,
kinds
don't
of...
forget the bats.
And bats. I'm just going to go and look myself. And with that, Greg's going to go off into the cave area. And then all you hear back is, "Holy heck! The great oaf was right!"
Can you roll me some initiative, please, Gregory?
Yes, of course I can. I have rolled a 9, and I think I've got a +0. Let me just double check that. I have got a +0, so it's a standard 9.
Cool. Lovely. You are on the list. Okay.
Whilst this is going on, I sit down and begin to cast Speak with Animals.
Ooh. Okay, you cast that. Do you have to go over to them? What's the crack with your Speak with Animals? What you?
It's just I touch myself and gain the ability to speak with animals.
Something special happened when I touched myself. Well, something special does happen.
Let's have a quick look. Speak with animals. You gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for the duration, so 10 minutes. The knowledge and awareness of many beasts is limited by their intelligence, but at minimum, beasts can give you information about nearby locations and monsters, including whatever they can perceive or have perceived, what they can visualize, or within the past day, you might be able to persuade a beast to perform a small favor for you at the DM's discretion.
Can I just be that guy and go, "Are bats beasts?"
I believe they are.
I say
bats have sonar, so it looks like we're getting a map reveal.
Yeah. So I mean, what knowledge of the cave?
Bat is a tiny beast.
What knowledge of the cave did a bat impart? Firstly,
you sort of hear sort of like maybe not a hive mind, but it's a little bit difficult because they're moving around so fast, and you don't have the power to speak to every single bat, so you're just sort of hearing this sort of like snippets of information as they're just whipping around as you're sort of like speaking to one, and it's sort of like just anxiously flapping its wings, and it just sort of you hear just sort of like dark cave, deep goblins, dark cave.
Krill, ask them what they think of me.
Yeah, why not? I ask the bats why they're attacking my friend.
Noisy.
Then, Quinch, you're making too much noise.
Oh, I didn't think I was that loud.
I
sensitive.
I asked the bats if they would kindly leave him alone if he allows them to go back to the quiet, peaceful environment.
Well, you're only communicating with one bat, and I'm talking about hundreds or thousands.
Whichever's the leader, the king of the bats.
I don't know enough about bat biology. No, that's not right. But bat nature to know whether they have a leader, whether that truly works. I would allow you to roll animal handling to see if you can calm them, but I would ask that you do it at disadvantage. And I'm expecting big things.
Can I use my inspiration to negate disadvantage? Does that work?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I'll do that. I use my inspiration point, negate disadvantage.
23.
I'm not gonna allow it. I would have set a 25. I would have set a 25 just because you're trying to deal with a significant number.
Right. I mean, we know now that they want Quinch to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Can I try something entirely different? I'm thinking, what if we make a really loud noise and then they fuck off out of the cave?
I think that's a stupid idea. I feel like that's antagonism at its...
Can you... Actually, seeing as you've now been involved, can you roll me an initiative, please?
Me?
Yeah.
13.
While all these people are talking to bats, Dweezil is going to venture into his little tunnel up here and just have a little peek round the corner.
So you get to there. You will see. You see this. You see that it just carries on round. Can you then, Gregomel, what would you like to do?
Gregomel never listens to anyone, so what he's actually going to do is he's going to cast Thunder Wave down into the hole here, which the description of Thunder Wave is it does make a very loud, audible sound, if I remember correctly.
Which hole?
The one that the bats originally flew up from.
The butthole looking thing.
The butthole looking hole, yes.
Let me just check Thunderwave.
It emits a thunderous audio boom of 300 feet.
Okay.
So you're making...
I mean, you're potentially damaging and injuring people.
But I'm doing it down into the...
It emits from you. It comes from you. So it's 15 from where you are.
Oh, that's not ideal.
Ooh, that is not ideal. Maybe I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't really want to guide you too much, but I personally would suggest that's probably not the best option.
Nah, probably.
But feel free to still do it.
Probably not.
Also, just a reminder to everyone that I'm still emitting the aura, so if you come near me, you'll be damaged.
Yeah, actually, I will come back to that in a second.
At this point, I don't really know what Greg would do, so I think I'm just going to kind of stand back and ready to help someone if anyone has a good idea. But I don't have any myself at this time.
Okay. Quinch, yeah, I forgot to mention this. When you started your storm aura, when you went into a rage and you felt the storm for the first time, this storm power coursing through your body, not only did you feel the massive guilt that you'd injured a prisoner, but equally, do you have your knuckle duster on? Do you wear it, or is it?
I do, yeah. So it's incidentally, guys, I'm loving this knuckle duster that I've been wearing the whole time, and it's very fashionable, even if it doesn't have any magical attributes.
I mean, it does have a shit-coloured stone in it, so...
Oh, thanks.
Yes, it's got a brown gemstone in it, but that's besides the point. It's irrelevant. It's done nothing.
Is the brown gemstone in there?
It's in there, yes. I put it. It's in there, yeah. Quinch put it in there when he got it.
As the storm power flew through you, coursed through you, you felt an extra tingle around your hand. and you suddenly sort of got a sense that maybe you'd been misreading the Knuckle Duster, and perhaps the Knuckle Duster worked in a different way than you anticipated, and that actually there may be some magical properties to the Knuckle Duster itself, which we will revisit at a later time.
My Knuckle Duster is fizzing and tingling. I like the way it feels.
Quinch, what do you want to do other than examine your Knuckle Duster?
Quinch shall...
Everyone's at a bit of a loss, aren't they? And how on earth do we deal with a flock of bats?
Yeah.
I mean, I got no problem with the bats. It's just I don't want to hurt any of the humans in the meantime.
I'd like to join at the next available opportunity. Join the the fray.
Well, the bat fray.
Yeah, so I'll sort of head
To
over
be fair,
towards see what's going on.
With how long this is likely to go on for, I could potentially get round to talking to each bat if I talk to one per turn.
I tell you what, Stuart and Luke, can you also roll me initiative? Let's chuck you on the board. I know you're not necessarily doing the same thing, but let's chuck you on the initiative board so that we have some order to this. Just roll however you wish to. So that's Dabov there, and that's Dweezil there. Okay. Right. Okay. Cool. Sue. Dabov is indeed your turn. You have entered the area of Quinch, whose storm aura means that you would take two damage.
Well, he's fucked everything else up for us, so what's 2 damage, eh?
Just FYI, I think you can turn your rage off if you wished to, by the way.
Let's guess what we think he'll do.
Oh, yes, for up to 1 minute. Interesting. Yeah, I'll probably do that soon then.
Not now, though. That's fine. I'm gonna.
Well, my turn's gone, isn't it?
I'm gonna use my 25 movement to move up to the entrance within range of the hole, and I've inspected my backpack of stuff, and I have a bell in my backpack for some reason. Don't know where it came from. Don't know why I've got it. Don't know what use it is. But I am going to very, very quickly wring the shit out of it and then throw it down the hole. See if it attracts the bats.
What on earth is going on?
See if the bats follow it down the hole. If not, well, then I look an idiot. But
okay, you ring the bell. You throw the bell. It hits a wall of bats and clangs to the floor without really being successful to get through them. So you can pick the bell up if you so wish to.
Yeah, I'll pick it up and keep it silent as I do. Try and hold the donger underneath it, as I'm going to call it.
Krill, you're such a good communicator. Why did you run in there and try and talk to them? Not the bats, I mean the people that are in there.
Right, so where do we have a token for the bats that I can't see?
No. They are just literally. I'll draw a line for you where they essentially are.
They're just filling the room, essentially. Is that right?
Yeah, they are. They are basically here.
Okay, all there.
Let's do a bigger line, just around there. Just this big circle here, essentially directly around the outside of that hole.
I'm gonna reiterate to the group that
you can't to the group. You can only one at a time.
No.
You're not talking.
I mean, to our
to your group.
Yeah, I'm going to reiterate to our group that the bats have said they have attacked Quinch because of how loud he was being. I suggest that we don't be so fucking loud, and then potentially they could stop, because now I'm like Dr. Dolittle and I love the animals. He's also become a vegan. Krill's now vegan. I reiterate that.
Yeah, you've got to say that every episode now. You're aware of that.
What,
that is how being a vegan works, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't really know what to do for my action. I'm assuming I'm no longer raging from the previous battle. It's definitely been more than a minute since that. Yeah, I mean, there's realistically not a lot I can do.
Okay, well, you can just move away. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I just move away.
So you obviously, as you said, you mentioned to the group, although at this point Dweezil can't hear any of this, he's sort of just gone rogue on his own. Certainly those that can hear you, you've suggested that maybe, just maybe, being quiet is the best thing to do. And weirdly, despite the fact that you've spoken common to the other people around you, and you've not been speaking bat, almost as quickly as it happened, the bats just sort of lose their agitation and they just go sort of swooshing straight back down the hole, and they're gone.
Quite proud of the fact that not fighting worked out once, even though I absolutely love combat.
Whether or not they understood what you said is another matter.
No, they did. That's what happened.
It could just be that a roll of the dice determined what happened.
Could be that the DM ran out of ideas and just thought these idiots are never going to solve it.
Nope. I wouldn't want to say anything about what actually happened. Could literally be anything. Anything could have happened that made the bats disappear. And so the bats have now disappeared, and you now see a Daboff at the front of the queue now sees what Quinch saw, which is an empty cave with a large hole in the centre of it, where you now know there are thousands of bats, and you can almost still hear just a slight rustle of bat wings as they're...
I suggest we talk quietly. He says quietly.
He says shouting. Yeah.
So just as Dabov sees the group of people, just one sort of little lonely dwarf just comes very slowly shuffling out, like try and make as little noise as possible. And he just looks at you and he just goes, shh.
Thank you for listening to Dice and Desire. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review in your favourite podcast app. In between episodes, you can interact with us on Twitter and Instagram @Dice and Desire.